What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And today we're cosplaying as Where the Wild Things Are in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And happy Halloween to you guys. Oh, this opens up in a weird spot.
Whoa.
Just so that you guys know, there is actually a 40k faction of furries.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it is, but it kind of goes along the lines of like other abhumans, where they were created during the Age of Strife. So yeah, there's that. Anyways,
Kind of like the Beastmen, but furry.
yeah, even though Beastmen are pretty badass. I'm playing Beastmen for the Age of Sigmar line, and they're a lot of fun to paint.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, this question comes from TSL Frontman. He asks, would you rather see the Men of Iron get their own faction, maybe usable alongside other armies, or rather see GW release an unknown Primarch model, so like the Lost or the Purge, to use like a mini Gilliman in any chapter or faction? Also, super glad for the mics and the longer answers. Few things are as unexciting as one-word answers to cool questions. Yeah, we did that a lot too, and most of it was because we answer kind of the same question over and over again. Sometimes you guys would word it in a different way, but it boiled down to the same question, so we would just like give you guys one-word answers. But anyways, so let's dive into this Men of Iron versus the Lost Primarchs.
Yeah. So first of all, we got to explain what exactly are the Men of Iron.
Yes. So during the Dark Age of technology, that was like the golden era for technology for humanity. Humans were all out there exploring the world, and they created these Men of Iron to do various tasks, from mining to agriculture to defense. It got to the point where these Men of Iron had sophisticated artificial intelligence, and they knew. They basically did all the work. And then the Age of Strife happened, and that was a combination of the birth of Slaanesh, a combination of like the warp getting more turbulent because of the birth of Slaanesh, and the Men of Iron betraying humanity, coalescing into a union and asking for better treatment, basically. And yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you've seen iRobot with Will Smith, that's exactly what happened.
Yes, with a lot more killing.
Oh, yeah. More grim darkness.
Yes.
Check Less Will Smith.
Which is always good. No, I'm just kidding. I like the Fresh Prince. Anyways, so what happened was, check out our 40 facts on the Men of Iron because we go in depth towards that. What happened was that humanity won. They were able to defeat the Men of Iron. They were able to push them back, or so they thought.
Bum, bum, bum.
Because of the Blackstone Fortress. So in the very first Blackstone Fortress starter set, we got introduced to a robot by the name of A something something something. And
random letters and numbers.
He is a Men of Iron. He was one of the AIs that was created during the Dark Age of technology, has survived since then, and is now trying to tap into the Blackstone Fortress, trying to understand how it works so that it can, use it to his advantage and do whatever robots want to do.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been stated or not, but do you think he's trying to bring back his race?
I'm not too sure. I really don't know. I wish we would have played a Blackstone Fortress a little bit more. Maybe that's what we should do instead of trying to play D&D on Sunday. We should just play Blackstone Fortress and just test it out.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
So what happened, and the reason that I wanted to bring that up is, number one, it's relevant to bringing back the Men of Iron, but it kind of shows you what the Men of Iron look like, and they really look like old 70s and 80s versions of what robots were.
Yeah.
Do I want that aesthetic in my 40k? No, not really. I think that's what the Tau Empire is doing. I think it would be really cool if they created like a different aesthetic to the Men of Iron, different than the one that we saw in Blackstone Fortress. Then I would want a whole like other faction. And And GW has that ability because not only do you have like simple robots like the one you saw in Blackstone Fortress, but you also have these colossal like terraforming artificial intelligent men of iron that did exist in the lore, and you can implement kind of like the Necron construct.
Mm-hmm.
If you had an army like that, I would want to play that. Because it makes me think of like the Imperial Guard army if you just do tanks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you want the Men of Iron back?
Yes, for sure. Men of Iron pose a different threat to humanity than just Chaos and Xenos, because it's a creation from them. So you could kind of, almost like the Terminator series, where it's like these Men of Iron are coming back essentially from the past because they thought they've all been destroyed. So now it's like, should humanity work with the Men of Iron to create like a treaty, or just outright destroy them? Because using AI is essentially saving human lives towards fighting Xenos and Chaos. Or they can do that, if they do ally with the Men of Iron, they could do that as like, maybe there's a demonic incursion and you don't want to risk, your soldiers getting corrupted by Chaos. Just send in the Men of Iron.
Yep.
But I really want to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, in a way, it would be kind of like we talked about last week, where GW knows that the number one selling faction is the human faction.
Space Marines.
Yeah, but you could ally Space Marines with these Men of Iron because of the fact that like they are trying to kill Xenos. They are trying to do everything that the Imperium is trying to do. So that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but I think before they make another race, they gotta flesh out the Harlequins.
they need to flesh out a lot.
Like, if you want to play Harlequins, you have like 4 troops max, and then you gotta ally with Eldar.
Yeah, but yeah. Now moving over to the Lost Legions or the Lost Primarchs, how do you feel about them introducing the Lost Primarchs as just like another Gilliman?
No. The Lost Primarchs are meant to be that fill in the blank. Like, this is how us as the players get creative to make our own Primarch, our own Lost Chapter, Lost Legion. If they gave us something, then that kind of has to twist in all the other fan legions to make it work. I would like it if they made like a Primarch stat line with various options to create these Primarchs, but still have it vague enough that you can include their own stuff. Kind of like the create your own chapter, but Primarch version.
Yeah, that would be cool. You just don't want an actual model, or
right? Like, let's say they do bring out a model and its aesthetic is like
Gilliman, but like maybe a little different.
Yeah, then it's like, well, I mean, that's cool and all, but
yeah. I get what you're saying, and I think the whole purpose of having a Lost Primarch and having the ability to create your own Primarch is to kit bash. So what you should do is you should go out there, buy one of the Forge World Primarchs, and kit bash them with someone or with some things. And yes, I know that's expensive, but this is supposed to be your HQ. This is supposed to be your Primarch.
Yeah, your leader for your army.
Second only to the Emperor to your Legion. Kind of like what you did with your Celestial Sons.
Right. I do really want to like change it up, because right now it's basically the Horus model with the Space Wolf head, and I want to use Alfarius, but like change it up a little bit. Because I do like Alfarius as a sculpt better than Horus.
The only thing that I don't like about it is the helmet. Do you like the helmet?
I prefer helmets over like actual faces, because it makes more sense. Like, why would you go into a battlefield without a helmet on? Like, that's a huge weak spot.
That's true. But yeah, I do feel that it is better to have Primarchs, or no, sorry, Men of Iron as opposed to Primarchs.
Yeah.
Whoa, deja vu, that felt weird. I felt like this has happened before. I was wearing this exact same thing. Good question. Let's move on.
This next one is by MRMQ Swaggers. Is there an intergalactic alliance of humans, orcs, Tau, Eldar, Space Marines, all working for the same cause?
No.
Well, there is an intergalactic, council that's working for the same cause, but it's not like these specific races. Yeah.
So what you're talking about is the Cabal.
Right.
And the Cabal is like you said, a council of aliens, but I think it's aliens that have existed since like for a while. They might even be, some of them might even be old ones. And the cool thing about them is that in the beginning of the Horus Heresy, they knew that the Horus Heresy was going to happen, or were they Eldar?
There is some Eldar in there, and there's some humans.
Okay.
John Grammaticus.
Oh, okay.
Eldrad's part of it too.
So what happened was with that Cabal, what they wanted is they wanted Horus to win.
Mm-hmm.
They even told the Alpha Legion, do everything you can to make Horus win, because they knew that if Horus won, the Emperor died, slowly the Imperium would just break out into civil war and humanity would die out. And since the Eldar were so few, there wouldn't be enough psychic juice for all the Chaos Gods to drink. And then the Cabal would go into the warp with their nines and just blow up the 4 Chaos Gods.
Right. But obviously the Emperor was victorious, and now humanity has booned to increase the amount of Psykers, thus feeding chaos some more.
Yep. But yeah, and then as far as like, because there also was a unity between the Eldar, the Tau, and the humans to fight the Tyranids.
Mm-hmm. But that was just like a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm. So there isn't like a standing unity type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The closest thing is the Cabal. Orcs are not involved.
You're right. But even then, the Cabal is like kind of like a very secret organization, kind of like the Freemasons.
Yes.
I didn't say that.
Next question comes from Ethan Andrews, the age 10. If the Primarchs knew about poker and had the time and blessing of the Emperor, would they have a poker night together? No. It was very rare for the Primarchs to actually even get together. The ones that had like the closest relationships was Sanguinius and Horus, Ferrus Manus and Fulgrim.
Miguelito and Miteo.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them even fought each other. So like Leman Russ and the Lion.
Leman Russ and Angron.
Leman Russ and Alfarius.
Leman Russ and Magnus.
Yeah, so...
Leman Russ and Miguelito.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
The only time that they were all together was after they destroyed the Orc Empire of Ullanor, which is where Armageddon is now.
And I think they were all present for the coronation of Horus as the War Master.
Yep. So that was the only time that they were all together, and it was memorialized in the iconic images that you see in the Horus Heresy novels, where they're all like standing on a balcony waving.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't think they're waving, but they're standing on a balcony. So it was during that they met up, and I don't think they would have played poker. I think instead they would have probably just eaten Popeyes, because the chicken sandwich is back.
Oh yeah.
Or will be back this Sunday.
The Emperor has blessed us.
But in 40k, like, the chicken sandwich has been back for millennia.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's a good question. Next one comes from Chris G.
Yeah, go for it.
Why on earth are you going old school using handheld mics? Next, you'll be using a telephone. Nonetheless, enjoy the content. Keep going. So this is a good segue and a good way for us to plug our podcast that we just started. We want to get into Dungeons and Dragons a little bit more. You've been creating videos. I tried creating videos and I couldn't keep up because I'm lazy.
But your videos are pretty interesting. Like the scenario with the tigers.
Yep.
Check it out. That's pretty cool.
But what we're doing, so like the reason we got the mics is it's easier for us to film a podcast and have everybody sound well. Or good, or like clear, and then I just wanted to use it for the Greater WAAAGH because sometimes I feel like the Greater WAAAGH. You guys have even commented that the sound isn't all that great, and that's because the mic would be over there, and then we would be over here, and then now that winter is here, the heater would be turning on, and of course. That would be in the background. So having these mics makes it a little easier for us to be heard.
Right. Kind of like the saying, mic means right.
Mic. Check.
1, 2.
Yeah.
That's because that's what the orcs believe in, right? Mic makes right.
Yep, mic makes right.
Mm-hmm.
And those were the questions for today. Like I said, check out our podcast. It should be coming up on Thursday. And we're talking about horror and Dungeons and Dragons. So if you guys enjoy our banter and you don't mind that it's not just about 40k, you just want to hear us talk, then we have that coming out on Thursday.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah. Keep on asking those questions. You guys have been enjoying the longer answers, so we'll keep on doing that.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah. Get those treats. Hopefully not too many tricks. And Sound Alchemist,
Gershwan.
We're out of here.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.